Hey everybody, welcome to the premiere edition of Markout Wednesday, where I will be going over the night that was in All Elite Wrestling. Tonight, July 1st, was night one of Futterfest, and we had a great show. AEW put on a great show for us tonight. We started off with MJF teaming with Wardlow, and they took on the Jurassic Express of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. We had a little bit more tension, a little bit more gearing towards a breakup between MJF and Wardlow, and Jurassic Express took the match. Moving on, we had Hikaru Shida defended the women's championship against my girl Penelope Ford. And I tell you what, there were some false finishes in that match that made me believe that Penelope Ford was going to pull it out. But Shida actually retained. It was a great match. One of the best women's matches I've seen in AEW in quite some time. That division, I've said it once, I'll say it again, has been getting better each and every week. And my hat's off to Hikaru Shida and, of course, Penelope Ford for doing a wonderful job. A great title match tonight. Moving on, Cody Rhodes defended the TNT Championship against Jake Hager. This match was phenomenal. These two have wrestled before in the WWE. This is their first match in AEW, and you could see that the styles between these two men much different than anything we've seen before. I really like the fact that they're letting Hager be himself, and you add in that stipulation, or not stipulation, but you add in the fact that he's bringing his wife, who's very attractive, to ringside, and it just makes him more of a heel. He's fun to watch, and he lost tonight, although he thinks he got screwed. The finish of the match had him in that triangle choke that he's been working on, but Cody pinned him, and he actually thought that he had Cody tap out. So he had some words with the referee, knocked out the official, and the entire locker room comes out of officials and referees. And something tells me that Jake Hager probably asked for some time off and was granted it. I kind of see a suspension storyline coming from this. I don't have any way, I don't have any dirt sheet or internet website telling me this. It's just a feeling I got. That's kind of an angle you do when somebody needs to take a break, and it looks like Hager may be getting a break. Private Party, the Hardy Private Party, had a huge victory over Pride and Powerful. Proud and Powerful, my man Carlos getting the tweet by, I believe it was Santana. Really cool. Inner Circle didn't have a good night tonight. Jericho was on commentary, so that was about as good as it got for the Inner Circle tonight. But it looks like Hardy, Private Party. I keep wanting to say Hardy because Hardy's, I guess, managing them, which is kind of fun because for those of you longtime wrestling fans, Matt Hardy managing Private Party is kind of reminiscent of Michael Hayes managing the Brood, Edge and Christian, and then later on the Hardy Boys when Michael Hayes went on to manage the Hardy Boys. So Matt Hardy's kind of taking on that role that Michael Hayes had in 1999. But Private Party will get a shot at the World Tag Team Championship next week. We had a World Tag Team title match tonight as Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page defeated the Best Friends. What a fantastic match that was. Again, another match. I'm not always the biggest fan for false finishes, but when it's done right, it can really be good. And tonight it was good. You just thought there was no dissension between Page and Omega, at least during the match. And you kind of get the feeling, and I've said this before in our show, and I'm going to say it again right now, they're going to make whatever tag team beats them for the championship, they're going to elevate that tag team. Because whatever they were going to do before COVID between Page and Omega, and I truly believe that they were going to feud with each other. I believe that Page was going to kind of be on the outs, but he's also one of the best faces. He's probably one of the most popular wrestlers on the brand, second to only probably Cody. His merchandise sells. He's popular. He drinks beer with the fans when there are fans in the stands. So I didn't see him turning heel, but I definitely saw some dissension between Omega and Page. I don't see that anymore. The announcers, the vignettes, the interviews backstage, everything seems to point to Page and Omega being on the same page, and they, no pun intended, and they got the best of best friends tonight. Again, no pun intended. Trent just continues to impress me each and every week. That guy goes out there, gives his 100%, and guess what? His 100% is good enough. He is a star, and there's gonna come a time where he's either going to elevate Chuck Taylor and they're going to be World Tag Team Champions, or Trent's going to go on his own and become a major single star. And that can be said about guys like Scorpio Sky as well. But it looks like the mid-card of AEW is very strong. Now, the close of AEW Fighter Fest Night 1 had a celebration in the ring. During the match, FTR came to the broadcast booth. They didn't put the headsets on. They just sat out in beach chairs, and they watched the match unfold. And when Page and Omega won, FTR brought some beers to the ring. They were all going to cheers and toast. And I sat back. I'm like, something's not right here. And I was right. Page, of course, he loved to drink the beer. He drank the beer, sure, no problem. But as we all know, Kenny Omega doesn't drink. So Kenny Omega poured the beer out of the bottle right in front of FTR, which sent them the wrong message. They got upset and took off their jackets and were ready to go. And then the Young Bucks come out to the ring, which obviously the Young Bucks are teaming with FTR next week. So it's a great little storytelling moment there where they're kind of building this. We all know that at some point FTR and Young Bucks are going to face each other, but next week they're going to team, but they're already building some dissension. What I thought was this tiny little nugget that was so well thought out was that it wasn't FTR versus the Elite. FTR and Hangman Adam Page were having words with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So, for all that I spewed earlier about Page and Omega being on the same page, they may just go back to their original storyline plan before COVID happened and break them up. It was a fun way to end the show. I loved it. And I was watching Page the whole time. He had words for Omega, and he was shouting at Omega when the show went off the air. So we'll see if Page and Omega can retain the titles against Private Party. But I'm calling it right now. Private Party, don't be surprised if they win the titles next week, especially with Matt Hardy being in their corner. They've made it known that Matt Hardy has given these guys a little bit of an advantage. And if they're going to pull the trigger on Page and Omega breaking up, what better way than Private Party? That's going to do it for the first week of Wednesday Night Markout. I am Mark Lindsay, and we will see you on the entrance ramp. Good night, everybody.